Hey kids, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to take a look at the Control ending for Mass Effect. It's not an ending I would normally gravitate to because I don't love the idea of my hero ascending to godhood, which is basically what happens in the Control ending. By choosing the Control ending, Shepard replaces the Catalyst as the force in commanding the Reapers, and can then use the Reapers at will to help make repairs and generally act as a beneficent overlord, or basically a deity, in protecting the galaxy. It would seem to me that the ending wherein everyone survives, Shepard has control of the Reapers, Shepard the person dies, which is fine because the character has completed their story arc at this point, and Shepard the essence upgrades into an elevated, all-powerful entity. The Reapers rebuild the mass relays, and the galaxy lives in peace, protected by an all-powerful Shepard and his band of giant bugs, would be the preferred ending, right? I mean, I've had a much harder time figuring out what I think about the Control ending, for instance, than I did the Synthesis ending. It does seem like a reasonable option. It ends the war without killing off EDI or the Geth, and yet the only reason I can even contemplate handing unlimited godlike power to one human being is because that human being is Commander Shepard. And that in and of itself gives me pause. If it's a good solution, then it shouldn't hinge quite so hard on one person, right? The benefit of Shepard controlling the Reapers is obvious, but it doesn't take much effort to list all the ways it could go so wrong. Consider this clip.
I warned you. Control is the means to survival. Control of the Reapers and of you.
You're playing with things you don't understand. With power you shouldn't be able to use.
I don't believe that. If we can control it, why shouldn't it be ours?
Because we're not ready.
Shepard is clearly against the notion of control. Therefore, it does seem odd and hypocritical for Shepard to then, like 10 or 15 minutes later, choose the same option he condemned to the Elusive Man. Shep says we're not ready because Shep knows that infinite power can infinitely and utterly corrupt. Shep's not infallible just because he's principled, and a principled Shepard understands that no one entity should become a god with the destructive power of a god. If you listen to what the Prothean beacon Vendetta says, that's the beacon that's at the Temple of Athame on Thessia, then you have to wonder whether there's much more going on here than the Star Child has actually told Shepard.
We were sabotaged from within. A splinter group argued we should dominate the Reapers rather than destroy them. It fractured our order of battle. Later we discovered the Separatists were indoctrinated.
I always suspected as much.
The same conflicts are expressed in every cycle, but in a different manner. The repetition is too prevalent to be merely chance.
We assume the Reapers were responsible for the pattern.
Perhaps, though I believe the Reapers are only servants of the pattern. They are not its master.
The Reapers appear to be sentient beings themselves. So what exactly is the Catalyst? Is he a Super Reaper or something more? If he's gone, will the Leviathan rise again to subjugate the galaxy? What's the Vendetta referring to when he speaks of a pattern that existed before the Reapers? And if there's a cycle of advancement and dissolution that pre-existed the Reapers and the Leviathan that acts outside the Reapers' purpose, what then? Seizing control of the Reapers might be possible, but in this case the Catalyst is simply handing it over. Why? Why is he doing that? And I wonder, how long could Shepard remain in control? We're talking about an indefinite amount of time here, possibly a millennia, possibly an infinite amount of time. What if the Star Child reasserts itself and Shepard is simply absorbed into the Reapers? Shep has not defeated or destroyed them, and the Catalyst, whatever the Catalyst actually is, presumably still exists, meaning the potential threat is not gone. And speaking of threats, the essential conflict between organics and synthetics that the Reapers are supposedly created to solve isn't solved either, just as it's not solved in the Destroy ending, except that now we expect Shepard and his giant bug squad to police everything, I guess. There's just so many unknowns to this scenario and so many massive potential pitfalls.
Infinite. Immortal. The woman I was used these words. But only now do I I truly understand them. And only now do I comprehend the full potential of her decision. Through her death, I was created. Through my birth, her thoughts are freed.
God Shepard speaks of Shepard in the past tense. The woman I was, her sacrifice, through her death, through my birth, her thoughts were freed. It took the Catalyst eons to come up with the Reaper solution. Chances are at least even that God Shepard will come back to it as well. She has, after all, millions of years to reflect on it and access to information and insight that human Shepard never had. What if, as his connection to people he loved and the world he knew recedes into the vastness of the countless galaxies to which Shep now has a connection, Shep becomes more and more merged with the Catalyst? I mean, think about it. The Catalyst is playing a much longer game here than we can even imagine, considering that in galaxy time, we exist for mere seconds. The Catalyst can certainly afford to pause for a few moments in order to assimilate Shepard. And what better way to assimilate Shepard than appealing to his sense of justice and sacrifice? This actually touches on something I've been thinking about for an upcoming video I'm working on about what I'd like to see in the next Mass Effect game, so keep an eye out for that. Here's my fundamental issue with choosing control over, for example, my preferred option of destroy. The biggest argument against destroy is 1, the cycle repeating, and a Paragon Shep has already proven that it's not inevitable by his success with the Geth and the Quarians, and 2, the deaths of Edie and the Geth. However, Mass Effect is filled with sacrifice throughout all of the games. Tens of thousands of soldiers have been sacrificed already. Ashley or Caden on Vermeer, 300,000 Batarians just to delay the Reapers, millions of citizen, lots of squad mates and friends of Shepard's. So yes, I think that the deaths of the Geth and the other AI is an acceptable price to pay if it means that the Reapers can be permanently destroyed. But also I believe that the sacrifice of the synthetics is the one that can be the most easily remediated, because we don't suddenly forget how to make artificial intelligence. Okay, it's been banned for generations, but you get my point. The technology exists and we know how to use it. Synthetics can cheat extinction because their creators can build them again, but a dead organic is just plain old dead. Control, for the reasons I've just spoken about, has too many potentially terrible unknowns and doesn't solve the central problem of the organic-synthetic pattern. So, control is a hard no for me.